Hey, so if this video found you, there is definitely a reason, okay? This is not a coincidence, it's a synchronicity brought to you from your spirit guides. So I want to tell you a little story that happened to me, and I think it's going to really pack a punch because, like I said, I think this video found you for a reason. And I want to talk about the little dog that I got a while ago. Now, if this is going to be triggering to you, this is a story of loss. So if that's going to be triggering for you, then this might be one that you want to save for later when you're at a better place, or just skip altogether. Okay, so if you're still with me, let's get into it. So this was a while ago. This is before I even had kids. So like at least 7 years ago or more. And we got this little dog. My husband and I, we already had a dog, a brown chocolate lab, but we were thinking about getting another dog. And we're like, it'd be nice for him to have like a friend. So we went to this event where there were a bunch of puppies that were rescued and they were up for adoption. And so we weren't even thinking about getting a puppy that day, but we're like, oh, they're so cute. Let's go look at them. So we go to look at them and we see this little black chocolate, not chocolate, this little black lab. And it was a little puppy, but it was a mix. And so when we saw this puppy, we're like, oh my gosh, he is so sweet and little. And I was like so called to have him. I was like, we need to get him. And my husband reluctantly, he's like, okay, I kind of fell for him too. So we take him home. And as soon as we get home, that's when everything starts happening, right? So when we were there, we're like, oh, he's so cute. He's so sweet. He's so calm. Yeah, right. Turns out he was sick. That's why he was calm. So he comes home. He is like super sick. And he gets our other dog sick. Our other dog gets so sick that he ends up having to go to the vet and staying at the vet for multiple nights to get breathing treatments. He was so sick. I didn't know if he was going to make it, but he did. So that's kind of like, ooh, we were fooled thinking that this was a calm dog, and he wasn't calm. So once he was better, that's when it began. He was crazy. And when I say crazy, I mean he wasn't acting like a normal puppy. He would every time you'd walk across the room, he would bite your feet and your ankles nonstop. Like, even if you weren't playing and it hurt, he would bite hard. And no matter what, he would just constantly bite you. And it's like there was something wrong with him. He didn't understand what he was doing. It's almost like he didn't have control of his mouth. He was just constantly like, I'm going to keep biting on you, and I don't even know why I'm doing it. It was very weird. I've never seen a puppy act like this before. Because it wasn't playing. It was just like, all I know how to do is bite. He was potty trained, but he refused to go outside. So he could do it, but it's almost like he had a mind of his own. He's like, I want to go in the house. He didn't go poop normal. He would projectile diarrhea in the house. So there's just something wrong with him, right? I know. And then he would eat our carpet too. One day he ate a hole through the carpet. It was like he ate through the carpet, through the foam, down to the wood, right? So honestly, this dog was lucky that we were the ones who adopted him, because I think that if anyone else adopted him, they'd be so frustrated with the biting and the misbehavior that they would have gotten rid of him or put him down or something. But my husband and I had such a soft spot that we're gonna work through it. We've made this commitment, and now he's ours. Well, when he was about 10 months old, we were out, and we came home one night, and we go to bed. The dogs were acting normal, and it was around midnight, between midnight and 1 a.m. We wake up. I wake up, and I have this weird feeling. I have this weird feeling to go in the living room. So I go in the living room, and mind you, it's dark. I'm not turning on all the lights. It's because we're sleeping. I walk into the living room, and the first thing I notice is that my feet are wet. And I'm like, this is weird. Why is the floor all wet in the living room? And then I hear scampering. Scampering noises all throughout the living room in the dark. So I'm like, this is weird. So I turn on the light, and the first thing I see is that there is foam all over the carpet, poop, all over, diarrhea, liquid poop all over the carpet, and blood. And I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? I look at the dog, and he looks like he is possessed. He's foaming at the mouth, and he's pooping diarrhea, and he is running around, scampering, and then he'll stop. It's almost like something's taking control of his body, and he's scampering around, moving everywhere, and then he stops, pauses. It's like he has a moment of lucidity, and he looks at me like, help me. What's wrong with me? I don't know why I'm behaving this way. And then boom, he would go back into it, and he'd be scampering in the house, foam coming at the mouth. When I saw this happening, I immediately knew he is not going to make it. But I was like, we gotta go to the vet right now. So I wake my husband up, we get up, and we get in the car, and this dog is like he's like biting through the door handles. He's biting us, like he can't control himself. It's the weirdest thing. So by the time we get there, he's like limp, but we're running inside trying to get him help. And when they take his temperature, he has 109 fever. What? It's crazy. So they think that the fever was making his brain, not work right, and that's why he was acting so weird. So turns out he didn't make it. He didn't make it. He passed. But we were really upset. We're like, that's so strange. Like, he was such a weird dog. And it honestly worked out for the better because now we have 3 small children, and we wouldn't have been able to have a dog like that, right? So it worked out the way it was supposed to. Everything always does work out the way it's supposed to. But I had such a special connection with him just because, he's my baby for a little while. And seeing him, it wasn't necessarily the fact that he died, but it was more of like the way that he went. That was kind of a little bit traumatizing, just seeing him in such like a possessive state. So that's what I want to get to, right? So I made this oracle deck. It's called Soulless Oracle Deck, and this is an oracle deck that is supposed to help you with grief, okay? And there's a bunch of different cards in here, and they all have a word on the card with a little poem that has to do with grief. So look at this. I'm telling you about this one because this is the card that was inspired by him. So his name was Toby, right? Black Lab, like I said. And so this is his little poem in honor of him. And if you've lost a dog, maybe this is your sign that they're giving you right now. It says, a destined encounter, a slave to pain, greatness within you, life cut short in vain. Here today, gone tomorrow, a bittersweet sorrow, a life taken too soon, leaving hearts hollow. So that's my little poem. Anyways, all of these, there's like so many great cards in here. And if you're going through grief, or if you know someone else going through grief, this is a great deck to get them. There's so many different topics that it discusses in here. But if this is something that interests you, they're definitely tropical themed because I love the tropical stuff. So the backs of the cards are so pretty. But if this interests you, you can get yourself a copy. They're so affordable. Be great to give someone as a gift. Stocking stuffer, right? Someone who's going through loss. If it interests you, I'll link it right here.